There is a lot to talk about today. So, hi everyone, and welcome to the top 5 old moments of the Singapore Grand Prix. I'm Beatrice from MotorLAT, and I'm going to list up 5 moments from the Grand Prix that actually were very surprising and exciting at the same time. So, 5. Palmer's drive. Who would have thought that the Renault driver would have ended up in P6, which was his best result so far, which was great. At the start he was very competitive, and he was also a bit pressuring Valtteri Bottas, and he actually managed to overtake him, which was brilliant. No one was expecting that, even though the Renault was showcasing some great competitiveness throughout the weekend, and that was awesome. The fact that he's actually waking up literally during the second half of the season is not positive, but at least that's something. This is not going to keep him the Renault seat, but actually that's exciting to see, because he actually proves that he has something to deliver. So well done, Jolyon. And for number 4, let's move on to another driver who scored his best ever result, which was Carlos Sainz. I was very impressed by Carlos as well. He was very happy, and he was also very lucky but consistent as well to keep up with P4. He was lucky to escape the first corner crash, and he did a decent start as well. And then he was very competitive as well. I wasn't expecting that at all. But yeah, finally he produced a great result and did a very mature performance, which I wasn't expecting from him. Actually, I have a theory on Carlos. I think that sometimes he is not mature enough to handle some situation, and this is why he makes many mistakes. But this time he was actually flawless, and he deserved it fully. So kudos to Carlos, and keep it up please, because we are very looking forward to seeing how you're going to do at Renault. So yeah, he's won to 2018 as well. Then we have 3rd place, another great performance from a rookie for the circuit, which was Stoffel Vandoorne. With his McLaren, he was doing quite well. In fact, he was successful at the end of the race. He completed that in P7, so well done. And the fact that actually astonished me a little bit was his the fact that he was feeling so confident and comfortable on this circuit, but he was never driving there before. He's never driven that before, so that was a nice performance and a nice indicator of his skills as well, because, you know, seeing a rookie perform like that on such a tricky city circuit is very impressive. So well done to the youngsters. And yeah, all 3 youngsters have occupied the bottom part of my top 5, so that's great. And so looking forward to seeing as well what he's going to do in the future, and with a competitive car. So next season he's a driver to keep an eye on, definitely. I've always liked Vandoorne from the GP2 times, and he's now finally been comfortable enough to deliver something very impressive and enjoyable to watch. So 2nd place, we have the unlucky Fernando Alonso start, because he was doing awesome until he actually got involved in the collision between Verstappen and Kimi Raikkonen. So he was actually 3rd at that point, but then he was at the right place at the wrong time. And yeah, the streak of bad luck is continuing in a very hard and harsh way for the Spaniard. But that so far he was doing amazing, and he's actually doing some great performances. He's actually making very good starts this year, but yeah, he just cannot finish one race. He just completed 3 races so far, or maybe 4. Yeah, there was Spain, it was Hungary, that was Azerbaijan, and then Silverstone. So 4 races on 14 races, which is a ridiculously low number, just like Verstappen. And in fact, for number 1, the top moment that left me in awe was literally, even though it's actually predictable, was the accident at the first corner. So I think that it was a race accident, but someone has to take the responsibility for that just because it is a race accident, that doesn't mean that there is no one who caused it. So yeah, we have to actually acknowledge that it was Vettel's fault. It was him taking the risk, and he was actually the one that could have avoided that, no doubt. Actually, Max was blindsided by both drivers. His line was straight and it was fine. He had made a better start than Vettel. Vettel was actually a bit struggling with the tyres, while Max did a great move a few tenths of a second before him, so he was actually a bit ahead. But then Vettel decided to cut his line, and he didn't know though that Kimi was on the other side, squishing literally Max into the two Ferraris. So it was, yeah, a chain reaction and was all very unfortunate, but that doesn't mean that teams like Ferrari should have actually blamed explicitly Max on Twitter. I mean, that is their job, to actually say and defend, say something in favor of the team and actually defending their drivers, but that was a bit too much. And yet they said also that we shouldn't have speculated over that. Okay, but we are free to express our own opinions, and to be completely fair, their description was not factual at all, because actually Vettel did not make any contact with Max. It was the two Ferraris colliding together, while Max had no reaction time to brake in between the two Ferraris. And I personally find it very weird that people are saying that he should have braked, because he had no time and no space to do that. So how are you going to do so? I was so disappointed to see once again that driver, the poor Max Verstappen, out of the race, scoring another DNF, just like the driver he actually unintentionally hit, Fernando. So yeah, the streak continues for Max as well, and it was very sad to see. But anyway, if there's anyone who should have been actually taking responsibility for that, it's Vettel. And of course, I'm not backing the words that Max said after the race completely, but he was right on the fact that Vettel shouldn't have taken that risk. He was too reckless. I mean, cutting like that in a line was not so intelligent and clever if you're actually fighting for the championship. And this is what happens. And actually, Lewis Hamilton, who actually had a bad qualifying, partially for the car, partially for his own, I don't know, he was not on point. But yeah, it was mainly to the car, because it was a Ferrari circuit hands down, along with Red Bull. And then he got gifted with that victory without doing nothing but actually making a flawless start. And that was probably one of the rare cases when a car starting from rather behind, it turned out to be a great advantage rather than starting from pole position, which should be the most comfortable and advantageous position on city circuits. So yeah, it was really baffling and very weird. But again, I think that such eventful races have to happen, and it was the first DNF for Sebastian Vettel, which was a very costly error. And yeah, making 25 points escape like that wasn't his smartest move, and I'm sure he's going to regret them. But again, Lewis has lost some points as well, so we'll see at the end of the year who has committed less faults. So yeah, it was the event of the race, no doubt. But anyway, during qualifying, we saw the real potential of the cars, and this is really even more puzzling for us to see that such a competitive Ferrari could have had such a huge advantage. It was their racetrack, it was their mojo, as I said previously. So it is a really frustrating one. I'll give you that for Ferrari fans especially. And now Lewis is leading by 28 points, which is a huge gap. And I'm sure that Vettel will need a DNF from Hamilton as well to just get back some points and go back in the fight fully. Valtteri Bottas, who finished third, said that his target is now Vettel because they're not too far from each other. So yeah, Vettel has definitely to hope for some luck, but he has to commit less mistakes and to be as well more careful. And as Mark Webber said, he has to actually remember that behind his helmet the car is not finished. There is actually a big piece behind his head, and that's the rear of his car, so he should not forget that. But anyway, let me know, guys, what are your top 5 moments that left you in awe? I'm sure they're not going to be many different from mine. Yeah, I want to know, so write it on the comments below, and I'll see you soon, guys. Now we have a week of, you know, chill before we get to Malaysia, and then we actually will have plenty of time to discuss these topics. So yeah, looking forward to hearing from you. Bye.